Bon Charge is a holistic wellness brand with a huge range of evidence-based products to optimize your life in every way. Founded on science and inspired by nature, all Bon Charge products adopt ancestral ways of living in our modern day world. Their extensive range of premium wellness products help you sleep better, perform better, have more energy, recover faster, balance hormones, reduce inflammation. The list is truly endless. From blue light glasses to red light therapy to EMF management and circadian friendly lighting, Bon Charge products help you naturally address the issues of our modern day way of life effortlessly and with maximum impact. Bon Charge ships worldwide in rapid time. They have free shipping on every sauna blanket with no hidden costs, and they have really easy returns and exchanges. They even have a 30-day trial, and they have a 12-month warranty. Go to boncharge.com/manifest and use coupon code manifest to save 15%. That's BONCHARGE.com/manifest and use coupon code manifest to save 15%. We are driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. It's actually to match. So match with Indeed. If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. So ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so that you can connect with candidates faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree that Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, which is according to a recent Indeed survey. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of the show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/manifest. Just go to Indeed.com/manifest right now and support my show by saying that you heard about it on this podcast. Indeed.com/manifest. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Manifest with Tori DeSimone. I'm your host, Tori DeSimone, and this is a cool episode. Number one, we're doing what you guys all love the most, which is my chatty girl talk, just like off the cuff episodes. You guys love these, and I love that you love them because on weeks like this, when I'm just working a lot, I don't really have like the gusto to sit down and put out a normal episode. So something like this is really fun to talk through and talk about because I get to talk about like the other half of my life that I really like, which is like pop culture and just like what's going on in my life, just like things that I'm currently up to, things that I'm doing, things that I talk about with my friends. Like this to me really is like when I sit down with my friends and I'm on a call with them or on FaceTime, like this is the stuff that I talk about, and that's really how I treat these kinds of episodes. So that's really fun for me. But this is also really cool because I'm filming this episode, or I should say recording it on the go. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, which my YouTube is always linked down below, and the YouTube is growing quite a bit, so be sure to click the link down below to subscribe to the YouTube channel, or if you guys want to watch this video, then you can see that it's an on-the-go episode, meaning I'm using like this little portable mic. And I'm at the Spin Studio in Sea Isle, so this is a very on-the-go podcast. And if you guys are listening, it probably sounds a bit different, and that's just, again, because I'm using a different microphone. But I hope it sounds good. I'm trying out something new, so I hope it works, and I hope you guys like it. Because if you do, then I have, like, visions of being able to bring this podcast a bit more portable, which I think would be really cool. Anyway, yeah, man. So this is just a catch-up episode and a chatty episode. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. I have tons of like random stuff to talk about. Some Bravo stuff, some pop culture stuff, some books, some products, just like really random things that I just would talk to my friends on the phone about. So it's really just like a big life update FaceTime call with me, and that's what this is. So I hope you guys are all having an amazing Monday so far and a great start to the week. When I'm recording this, it is Friday, the 12th, which means that tomorrow is April 13th. And that is when I open all three of my Sea Isle and Avalon locations for the soft opening or the off season. I call it both. I like kind of interchange the two. And that's pretty much just like the kickoff to summer. And I can't believe that another season is back. I mean, it's not summer. And as I look outside the window, normally I can see the beautiful ocean, but I can't because it's so rainy and so foggy and so windy. It's just like Sea Isles in a giant cloud. So I can't really see anything right now, but very soon I will be able to, and then that's going to be really exciting. But the soft opening is this weekend, and you guys listening to this, it already happened, so hopefully it went smoothly. But today is just a big catch-up day of doing all the last-minute stuff. I just have to like get waters and go to the city hall for what's called a mercantile license. I am installing some shelves. I have to run electric. Like, it's just like a lot of like odds and ends, like loose stuff. I have some trainings today. So just a very on the go day. And yeah, this whole week has just been on the go. And if I'm being honest, last week I talked about how April was kind of off to like a really weird start and how I was angry a lot last week. And I will say this week has been much better. Like Monday and Tuesday of this week has been a lot better. But here's what I will say overall. So far, April has been kicking my ass, and I knew this would happen, and let me tell you why. So my one friend, Chelsea, loves astrology and human design, and specifically the Chatty app. So she was like, you should get the Chatty app. So in the beginning of the year, I downloaded the Chatty app. And it read my chart, and I ended up not keeping my subscription because I'm not as into astrology as someone that would pay for like an astrology app. Like, it's just not my circle. It's not really my forte. So I didn't end up paying for the astrology app, but I got all my readings and I watched what I could, and then I ended up just canceling my subscription. But anyway, in the beginning of the year, and I should say I'm an Aries. Okay, this is where everyone's like, I'm a so-and-so sun, da-da-da-da, I know that my chart is like Aries, Cancer, Aries, I think. So I knew that. So the beginning of the year, it said that April was going to be a really transformative and tough month for me as an Aries. And I think it's a lot of people feel like that because apparently that's just like what's up in the astrological air. But because I'm an Aries, I apparently would feel it even more. So I've been a little bit afraid of this month because it said that. It said the beginning of the month is going to be really hard for you and really transformative and really like it's going to be tough. So you just got to kind of stick it out. But come the middle of April and then the end of April, it will pass, it will lift, and you will be back to your normal self. So I kind of always remembered that like I've had this like month of April coming, and I never wanted to like think that it was really true because who wants a hard month? Like, who wants to actually be like, yeah, this month was really hard for me? And there are 3 parts of my life that I'm really anxious about, and I kind of actually did want to talk a little bit about anxiety today, but I've not been ever like clinically diagnosed with anxiety, but like I know that I'm an anxious person. I run anxious. I do have anxiety. Like, I just know these things, okay? And there are 3 things in which I always come back to these very anxious thoughts. And so when I hear that a bad month is coming, it immediately goes to one of 3 scenarios or all 3. So I was like, okay, it has to be one of these 3 scenarios that I always go back to when I'm anxious and whatever, blah, blah, blah. So to make a very long story short, I was really dreading April. April came. And oh my God, it's been a shitstorm so far. Like, I've been all over the place. I've been crying a ton. And also Chelsea tells me that my month is even heightened because of the eclipse, and there was an eclipse in Aries, and because I'm Aries, I'm feeling it even more. and on top of everything that was like apparently supposed to happen in April. And that's also the weird thing about horoscopes is like, it's so vague that it's like you fill in the gaps of what it means, but it's also scary enough where it's like, yeah, you're going to have a bad month, but that's all I can tell you. So here's what I will say. It's been spot on. Like, it's just, and nothing bad has even happened. It's just been a tough month for me. And I also think turning 26 is weird. Like, as I get older, it gets more weird and more real. And like, I could even get emotional talking about it and thinking about it because, and this one, I've just been crying like all the time this month. Like my boyfriend, like yesterday, he spilled his drink and I just started to cry and he was like, what is going on? I'm like, I don't know. Like, it just feels good to cry sometimes. So I don't know. I've just been crying nonstop. And I'm in my follicular phase. So like there really is no reason for me to be crying because of hormones or anything like that. Like I'm just crying a ton. Okay. I don't know why. I just am. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. Turning 26. It's just been weird getting older. Like I really started to feel it at 25 when I was like, okay, I'm 25. I feel like I should have my life kind of on a certain trajectory. And when I say trajectory, I mean like relationship, marriage, kids. Like those are the three big things. Like when it comes to other things like career, like I have a career that I'm really passionate about, that I really love. And for that, I'm really fortunate. But no doors for my career are ever closed. Like I see career as a lifelong thing, not something that needs to be established in your 20s. Like if I'm, 35, 40, and I want to explore a new career, like right now anyway, through the lens of a 26-year-old, that to me is always going to be an option for me. Like I personally don't feel the pressure to have a career in my 20s. And I think it's because I'm an entrepreneur and I've always kind of just done my own thing. So with career, I feel really sound and really settled, but I'm also always open to new opportunities. And I just feel really good with that. With housing and stuff, yeah, I mean, I'd love to buy a house. That's definitely a goal is by the holidays this year, I want to be moved out of my parents' house and into my own house. It's just like, I could go on about the housing market because we all feel it. It's just so bizarre, but I'm also realizing like it's not getting better. So I just need to I need to do something about it because if I just keep waiting, I'm going to be waiting forever. So, I mean, it sucks, and I could say it sucks all day long because it does, but at the same time, me saying it sucks is not going to change it. So there's that. But other things when it comes to like kids, career, relationship, or not career, relationship, marriage, kids, that's where I just start to like feel a lot of pressure. And that's really not a fun feeling to have because I love my boyfriend. I love our relationship. And the older we get, the more pressure I feel to like get engaged to him or get married to him or do we want to have kids, like all this sort of stuff. And like neither of us are like ready for that next step. And I just feel like a lot of pressure to like get engaged, get married, begin to think about having kids and all that stuff, which is really wild because I am 26, I'm so young, but I also feel like, okay, what if it doesn't work out and then we break up when I'm like 30? Like, did I just waste all, like, do you know what I mean? Like those thoughts are always in the back of my head and they always give me anxiety. And that's not a fun thing to think about. But then I think to someone like Paige DeSorbo, who is 30, 31, 32, like in that age range. I don't know how old she is. And she's just like so happy and like so on her own timeline. And like, it's just so nice to see someone like her just be so outspoken about it. Like that she wants to be financially independent from her boyfriend and that she doesn't care that her age is one thing and she doesn't feel any sort of pressure to get engaged, move in, get married. It's so nice to see that. And then on the other side, as a woman, you do have what people call a biological clock. And I'm 26 now, and I think my mom got engaged at 26. And she had my sister, who's older than me, when she was, I think, like 29 or something. So, and then she had me when she was like 30 or 31. So, I mean, all that stuff could still happen for me because that's in like 5 years, which is crazy. Like, I'm closer to 30 than I am 20. Kill me. But anyway, it's just so, like, you just grow up so fast. Like, literally, it just happens. Like, you blink and you grow up. And I think COVID, like, just totally abrupted a lot of aging, and it just feels really surreal. But anyway, I digress. It's just weird. And, you know, I always thought that when I was like a young teenager, I was like, I don't want kids. I don't want to get married. Like, I don't really want any of that. And then I got a little bit older in my teenage years and I was like, yeah, sure. Kids, marriage sounds good. Young 20s, I was like, yeah, I want that. And now I'm kind of just back in like I don't know if I want kids or not, because I feel so like, this sounds horrible to say. And if one day I ever am, you know, blessed enough to have kids, I don't want this to be like, you know, taken out of context and been like, oh my God, she never wanted kids and now she has kids. But when I think about having kids, it almost feels like I only have like, let's say I have kids in 10 years. It feels like I only have 10 more years of my life to live, which is a weird feeling. And then it becomes like your kids' lives. And the only reason I think like that is because my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and my mom is literally the best mom in the world. Like, she has made her whole life about me and my sister, and she is like completely there whenever we need her for anything at all times of the day. Like, we could call my mom at 3 a.m. and she will answer. She could be in the middle of like running a marathon and she would answer our phone calls. Like, she is the best mom in the world. Like, whatever we need, my mom is there. And same with my dad. Like, both of my parents they're married, they're in love, they're very involved in our lives. Like, and they're just they're very present in both of our lives. Like, and my dad too. Like, I mean, my dad definitely has a life outside of me and my sister, but I really feel like my mom's life is like so intertwined with mine and my sister's life. And that is all that I want to be able to provide for kids. And I worry that like, I don't know if I will be able to be like that. And I also just look at it like, okay, my life stops and then their life begins. So to me, it's like, I'm only 26. I feel like there's so much I haven't done yet in my life that like I want to do. And will having kids stop that? You know what I mean? Like, so that's a fear that I have. And I saw someone say on like a TikTok comment somewhere that they said like, once they decided to not have kids, their life became they had so much more life ahead of them. And I feel like that. Like, when I think to myself, like, I want kids, I see like a very short window for me of like, okay, then there are things I need to do before that. But then if I say to myself, I don't want kids, then I see like my life suddenly being 26, I feel like a baby again. And it feels real. Like, I feel like I have a world of opportunity in front of me if I say like, I don't want kids. So it's just this really weird thing. And I don't know what I want to do. And I just feel like, you know, if I end up having kids, amazing. And that's how it was supposed to be. If I don't, like right now, if I don't ever have kids, like, then that's also how it should be. I don't know. It's just a really weird thing to be going through and to be thinking about and to be feeling, because I still feel so young. But it's weird. Like, people say your 20s are hard, and I never really felt that until like I hit 24. And I was like, okay, age does become a thing. Like, you do have a biological clock. Like, things do begin to happen. And even when I was at the gynecologist, she was like, do you want to get pregnant? Da, da, da. And this was a few weeks ago, so I was 25. And I was like, I don't know, blah, blah. And she started saying that I should start thinking about freezing my eggs at 28. At 28. And I was like, oh my God, that's in 2 years. Like, now I'm 26. I'm like, that's in 2 years. So it's just really weird, you guys. It's just weird. And I seriously just feel like I just grew up. Like, oh my God, it's just so weird. So I don't know. I just have a lot of anxiety about like that stuff. But again, when I lift like the pressure of a biological clock off of my life, my world opens up and suddenly I don't feel pressured to do anything. And that feels really nice. So I don't know. And I have to say, I started watching the show The Valley, which is pretty much like, if you don't know, it's like a Vanderpump Rules spinoff because Jax and Brittany are on it. Kristen Doute's on it. Who keeps putting Kristen Doute on our television? Nobody wants Kristen Doute on our TV. Like, for real, she's so crazy. And I just started rewatching season 1 of Vanderpump Rules when I have like nothing else to watch. And she has always been so crazy. And I actually have 2 takes about reality TV when it comes to Lindsay Hubbard and Kristen Doute and The Bachelor. Just, I will circle back to that. Remind me. But I will circle back to that. What I'm realizing is, like, if anything, the Valley is showing me that I don't want kids. And I think it's just because, and maybe this is not what they are intending to do, maybe it's just getting a bad edit, but these couples are making it sound like kids just like stop your lives. And maybe I'm just viewing it from that lens. I really don't know, but like, they kind of just say like your life stops when you have kids and you can't do anything fun. Like, they're just making it look horrible. They're saying like their marriages are suffering, their sleep suffers. Like, they're just not doing having kids justice. And I think that's not what I was looking for with that show. But if anything, I'm like, okay, this is actually not a very good show, but I will keep watching it. And if anything, it's making me not want kids. And that's weird. Like, I wasn't expecting that from that show because they're so about kids. You know, it's about young couples with young kids, and they do like young kids stuff. And I keep seeing it. I'm just like, I don't know. It's making me not want them. So I don't know. That's like a big thing that's been looming over me since turning 26, and this will pass. This is just something I get anxious about. This will pass. Like, all anxieties, they come and they go. And this too will go. And then, you know, one day it'll come back and then it'll go again. But right now I'm just super fixated on it because I don't know. I just turned 26. It's very top of mind, but it's weird, you guys. Like, every year that I get older, I feel weird. It's just bizarre. And I think it's really bizarre because my whole adolescence is literally documented on YouTube. Like, I uploaded my first video when I was in 8th grade, and I can't remember how old that is. It's either like 13 or 14. I don't know. Maybe 14. And it's just so young. And now here I am 13 years later. I think I was 13. 13 years later. It's just weird. 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 Okay. Let's circle back to like what I was saying about Lindsay, Kristen, and The Bachelor. Okay. Here's my hot take on reality TV. I know a lot of times people are like, oh, so-and-so got a bad edit. And I get that. You totally can get bad edits of, oh, and maybe this is also a little bit of, I don't think this is a hot take. I'm going to say it. One of the most humbling things that I see on social media is like, if you remember this, then it's time for a night cream. And recently I saw one the other day that got me. It was like, if you remember those infomercials where it was like watercolors and you just have one tool, and if you could draw like a rainbow on it, it's time for a night cream. And I was like, oh, that one hit me really, really hard. And that's where I bring Clarence into my night routine. And it's you know, I'm 26. Like, it's time for me to have a night cream. I had to get my own health insurance the other day. It's time for me to be a human and a real adult. We've been adulting for a while, so we understand the daily stress of swiping left or binging the 4th season of Gossip Girl until 2 a.m. We just know that like trying to get our life together can cause stress aging, which unfortunately is a thing. But the good news is that Europe's #1 skincare line has a solution for you that you can trust. Rooted in nature and innovative with science, Clarins has a long legacy of creating industry first, plant-forward products. Using a skin charger complex of 2% niacinamide and sea holly bio extract, Clarins multi-active cream has been clinically proven to target the first visible signs of aging by smoothing lines and wrinkles, refining pores, evening tone and texture, and strengthening the skin's moisture barrier. While multi-active cream can't bring back the golden age of boy bands, it can de-stress our skin.
I've been using the multi-active cream for a little bit over a week now, and I can already feel such a difference in my skin. What it does for my skin, it just feels really supple, really moisturized. I wake up with really, really glowing, soft skin. I love it. I feel like my pores look a lot smaller. It refines my skin's textures. I feel like overall I just have an enhanced radiance. It gives me 24-hour hydration. I just really love this product. Clarins Multi-Active Cream is available online now. So go to clarins.com/manifest and get multi-active day and night cream for 10% off, a free welcome gift, plus free shipping on your first order. This is a really good deal, you guys. That's Clarins, clarins.com/manifest with promo code manifest. Clarins.com/manifest with promo code manifest.
Bon Charge is a holistic wellness brand with a huge range of evidence-based products to optimize your life in every way. Founded on science and inspired by nature, all Bon Charge products adopt ancestral ways of living in our modern day world. Their extensive range of premium wellness products help you sleep better, perform better, have more energy, recover faster, balance hormones, reduce inflammation. The list is truly endless. From blue light glasses to red light therapy to EMF management and circadian friendly lighting, Bon Charge products help you naturally address the issues of our modern day way of life effortlessly and with maximum impact. My favorite product from Bon Charge is without a doubt their infrared sauna blanket. I love sauning. I know all the benefits that it gives, but the problem with the sauna is one, it's at the gym, and I'm currently living at the beach, so I'm nowhere near the gym that I normally go to that has a sauna. Number two, an at-home sauna is really expensive, even though it's something I would love to invest in. I just can't really do that right now. And another thing is that you're typically supposed to sauna at the end of the day, and I don't want to leave my house at the end of the day to go to the gym when I am home to sauna. So that is why I'm so thrilled that I found the Bon Charge infrared sauna blanket. So how this blanket works is it's really easy to set up. So it's a blanket, so I can plug it in and then it's ready in a few minutes. It heats up really, really quickly, and then I get in it. And because my head is out of it, I can stay in it for a really long time. So I like to hang out in my sauna blanket while I'm watching TV or reading a book or doing a puzzle or just like chilling on my phone, like on TikTok or something. It's just really awesome. I get all the benefits of sauning and I can do it at home. It heats up really quickly. It's really easy to clean. It leaves me really stress free. It helps me sleep better at night. I'm just really obsessed with it. Bon Charge ships worldwide in rapid time. They have free shipping on every sauna blanket with no hidden costs, and they have really easy returns and exchanges. They even have a 30-day trial, and they have a 12-month warranty. Go to boncharge.com/manifest and use coupon code manifest to save 15%. That's boncharge.com/manifest and use coupon code manifest to save 15%. We are driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. It's actually to match. So match with Indeed. If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. So ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so that you can connect with candidates faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree that Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, which is according to a recent Indeed survey. I love Indeed. I've used it for all of my businesses when it comes to hiring talent that I need. What I really like is that there's a lot of qualified people out there, but I'm looking for someone very specifically, and I don't even know who it is I'm looking for until Indeed shows them to me. So I put out the job listing that I'm looking for. I say exactly what it is that I want, and they bring me the candidates that match exactly what I want. It's actually hard to pick the right person for the job because I get a ton of qualified people for it. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences, so the more that you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of the show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/manifest. Just go to Indeed.com/manifest right now and support my show by saying that you heard about it on this podcast. Indeed.com/manifest. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Okay, so let's talk about hydration. This week, I think I've taken maybe one sip of regular water all day, all week. Like, it has not been really good. But as soon as I get home from the studios of running around, making sure everything is set up, the number one thing that I do is I pour myself a big glass of water. I'm talking like 24 ounces, and I will pour in a liquid IV. And this way I get completely hydrated. I can quench my thirst really, really fast. I get electrolytes. It pretty much just is like making up for the lack of water that I've had all day. I really, really like Liquid IV. My current favorite flavor is their white peach. I just love anything peach, especially with it going into summertime. And I don't really know how to explain it, but like Liquid IV tastes wetter than water. You kind of just have to taste it to know what I mean, but it's the most hydrating water I've ever had. I really like that it's convenient because I can just fill up a water bottle or like a mason jar at home, put it in my water. It's just in like a little daily, pack. You just pour it in and it's absolutely delicious and it makes my water taste a lot better. So I really do drink it like all day and then I feel really good for not drinking water. So all that you need is one stick and at least 16 ounces of water, and that will hydrate you better alone than just water. It also has 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drink. I really like the zero sugar one, so it has no artificial sweeteners and zero sugar. It has 8 vitamins and nutrients for everyday wellness, and it's non-GMO. It's free from gluten, dairy, and soy. So however you hydrate, grab your Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier sugar-free in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 20% off your first order when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MANIFEST at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MANIFEST at liquidiv.com. Hannah Berner always says that she had a really bad edit on Summer House the last season that she was on, and that she was like made out to be the villain. When I first watched Summer House, I just started watching Summer House like literally a month ago. Okay, so I'm a new watcher and I've been binge watched all the seasons, but I knew who Hannah Berner was for quite some time now. And she always said that she had a really bad edit. So I look at Summer House from the lens of like, I know Hannah through Giggly Squad and just like, she follows me on Instagram randomly. I don't know why, but she does. It's so random. So just like I know of her through her social media. So like the narrative that she controls is what I have seen from Hannah. And then she goes on Summer House and she says that she got a bad edit and that she was the villain. I didn't see that at all. I don't think she got a bad edit. I don't think she was the villain. I just think she was in a situationship, and I think Luke, like, is so weird. I don't know. Like, I have a friend in my life that is very similar to Luke. He's my boyfriend's friend. He's very similar to Luke in the sense that, like, he just reminds me so much of him. And so I kind of understand Luke a little bit more because of my boyfriend's friend. And I just think Hannah thought the whole situation with Luke was one thing and Luke thought it was another thing. And Luke was just being very like conniving about the whole thing of like, oh, I love Hannah. She's my best friend, but I'm seeing other girls. Like he was just a classic guy dating a bunch of people. And like, I'm not justifying Luke's behavior at all. I'm not the biggest fan of Luke, but I don't mind him either. He's just like a guy that somehow got on a reality TV show. Like he loves to say that he loves the outdoors. Like we get it. Like we get it. Like you're from Minnesota and you're somehow on a Summer House reality TV show. Like, make it make sense. Because it makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like, we get it. You love the outdoors. You love hockey. You love ice skating. You love the wilderness. I get it. And somehow you're on this TV. All is to say is that they just, I think, saw two different things. And Hannah was always very adamant, like, I was a villain. I got a bad edit. I don't think she was a villain. And I don't think she got a bad edit. I think she was just being authentic. And I think sometimes it's just hard to see that authenticity through the cameras. But also, I will say Summer House's editing is so choppy. Like, you can tell that they put together so many sentences because when someone is speaking, they don't show that person speaking. And it's because they're pulling audio from other times of the show. Like when you're mic'd up, you can have audio pulled at any time from any scene from any of the days that you're mic'd up. So when you're seeing a conversation happen and they're not showing the person saying something, it's most likely because they didn't say that in that moment. That person did say it, but it could have been pulled out of context or it could have just been edited in. Like, and Summer House is really bad at that. Like they do that for 80% of their conversations. So they really do make a storyline out of things that like don't even happen in that moment, is what it seems like to me anyway. Do I have to say allegedly? Allegedly. And I know that, one, from just being a reality TV girly that watches a ton of reality TV, but two, because when I was on, in my YouTube days, when I was, I I think I was in high school. I was like a sophomore. I was a junior in high school. One of my YouTube friends, Amanda, she had a like reality TV show on Awesomeness TV, if you guys remember it, and it was called The Social Life. And it was about Amanda and her friends, and we would just like film stuff all the time for it. And there were many times when we would film for her reality show, and they would have you mic'd up all the time. And essentially how it works is like they have you mic'd up all the time, and they are always listening to your audio. So I remember there was this one time in New York, Amanda and I were like shopping around in New York, and our moms were like at a coffee shop, and the producers and the filmers were at the coffee shops with our moms, because Amanda and I were just like shopping on our own. But we were like taking a break from filming, but we were still mic'd up. And our mics were still hot. And Amanda and I just started talking like how we would normally talk, like girl talk. And again, we weren't being filmed, but we were being listened to because our mics were on. But we're also being recorded because our mics are on, even though the cameras aren't up on us, you know what I mean? And I just remember like the night, it was a Saturday, so the night before was a Friday, and I was at a high school party, and I was telling Amanda about like what was going on at this high school party. I was telling her about like, you know, people from my high school, and I was telling her about, like some kids that were smoking and some kids that were drinking, like kind of just like, you know, high school stuff. Her and I were just talking because we were really good friends. So we were just talking about that sort of stuff. And later on, my mom goes, you know, the film crew could hear everything that you were saying, right? And I was like, yeah, I know. And she was like, okay, like just make sure you like watch what you say, because they could like use it. And I know that I didn't say anything bad or anything that I shouldn't have said, but that was when I realized, like, yeah, well, it's not that I didn't realize it. Like, I did know it, but I didn't know my mom would hear everything I was saying. You know what I mean? Like, I guess they were listening, and then they were telling our moms, like, oh, this is what they're talking about, like, da-da-da, whatever. Now, it was never clipped, but there was another time that we were filming for that show, and I did say something, and it was clipped and put into a different conversation that I didn't say it at all in that conversation. It was, like, weeks prior that I said it, but they put it in because it made sense with the story that they were trying to tell on this reality show on YouTube. So all that is to say is that things aren't always as they seem, which is totally correct. And that's important to keep in mind. But the edit that I got on that show was very accurate. Like, I feel like I was portrayed like exactly as I was in real life for the most part. There was only one time that I didn't like it when, I mean, this isn't about like the YouTube reality TV show that I did. I'm just trying to relate to a reality TV show because I get it from like a very microscopic level. Anyway, let me revert back to this. So what I'm saying about all of this is that Lindsay Hubbard, who else did I say? Lindsay, The Bachelor, and someone else with edits. I'll get back to it. I can't remember who it was. Is that when people say they have bad edits, I really don't always think that's the case. I think things can be taken out of context, 100%. But who people really are on reality TV, like, it can be kind of true. Here's what I mean by that. The Bachelor, Joey Grossaday, I went to high school with him and college with him. Now, you guys know that I didn't actually go to college, but he was in the frat that all of my friends were in, so was familiar of him through that. And then high school, was familiar of him through high school. Just a lot of mutual friends, things like that. And I remember a few summers ago when my friend Katie and I found out that someone from our hometown was on The Bachelor. We knew that it was someone named Joe, and we were thinking, like, who the F could it be? We were thinking of all these people. We had like 3 guys that we were like, okay, it could be this Joe, or this Joe. And we were like, it has to be one of these 3 because these are the only people that make sense. And then when we found out it was Joey Grossaday, I was like, of course it's Joey Grossaday. Like, he's literally perfect. Like, of course it's him. So when I found out, this was when he was on The Bachelorette. When I found out that he made it to Hometowns, I was like, literally, of course he would make it to Hometowns, because he really is like he's such a good guy. Like, he's so nice. He was so kind. He was just really, really nice in high school, really, really nice in college. Like, he was always just such a nice guy. So then when he became The Bachelor, me and Katie were like, of course he would be The Bachelor. And then everyone was like in love with him as The Bachelor. And we were like, no, like, this makes perfect sense. And then I didn't watch the season, but at the end of it, when everyone was like, you know, they love Joey, he was the best Bachelor they ever had, that tracks, because he really is, or was, like, from what I knew of him, which was very little, but from what I knew, he was such a nice guy always, and he was just like a really stand-up guy. So when he got like a really fantastic edit and everyone came off the show really liking him, it made a lot of sense. And I was like, yeah, because he really is like this really nice guy. So circling this back to what I was saying, Lindsay on Summer House, when she says like, oh, she gets a bad edit or whatever, couldn't be farther from the truth. Lindsay has been consistently dreadful from season 1, episode 1 of Summer House. I've never liked Lindsay. I have never liked Lindsay. She's just not my kind of girl, and I don't think she would like me. I've never been able to stand Lindsay. Like, every time she's on my TV, I'm like, oh my God, she's just dreadful. There's nothing about Lindsay that I've ever really liked, and there's never even been a redeeming quality of Lindsay that I'm like, oh, that was a good edit of her. Never, ever. And I think even when they tried to make her like have her fun single summer and, you know, whatever, she was just even more dreadful. Like, I can't. And I think the line for me was when she was so rude to Danielle. That really did it for me, because like, if you're going to be that rude to your best friend, oh my God. It's just like, she's just not my favorite person on TV. Oh, Kristen Doty. Same with Kristen. When Kristen's like, oh, you know, she gets bad rep. She is just as crazy as we see, okay? Like, from season 1, episode 1 of Vanderpump Rules, she was crazy. Okay, and she still is crazy. All of this is to say that, yes, reality TV always gets the rep of people get bad edits, but I have 3, maybe even 4 examples of people that have been very consistent in who they are, and they always just say, oh, it's a bad edit, or it's a good, no, it's not. Joey is a really good person, and that came across on TV. Who I was on this little tiny reality TV show, really, I felt like was accurately portrayed. Lindsay has been dreadful since season 1, episode 1, and she's still dreadful. Kristen has been crazy since season 1, episode 1, and she's still crazy. Like, it's reality TV. Yes, it's like taken out of context, whatever, but like, these are accurate edits of these people because they are crazy in their own respects, okay? All of that is to say, now we're gonna talk about Summer House a little bit. I cannot stand Lindsay. Okay, I've been saying this for a while now, but let's just talk about Summer House because it's going on right now. It's really hot, and I love Summer House. Okay, Lindsay's dreadful. I wrote notes. There's just nothing about her that I like. Like, even in last week's episode, or I guess 2 weeks ago now when you guys are listening to this, I haven't watched the new episode that came out today. When she was just like riding around on the bike, like, woo, whatever, like at the little racetrack at their house, it's just, she's always just so like, look at me, I'm so happy, da-da-da. And her lack of accountability it's frightening. Like, honestly, it is so frightening how she can never just say, you're right, I'm sorry. And like, she says she's going to therapy. Girl, get a new therapist. Like, this therapist is not it. And Carl is just like, such a light. In the beginning of Summer House, I did not like Carl. I was like, he is such a loser. And then when he got sober, oh my God, like, I love Carl. He is so sweet. He's so kind. He's the most understanding person I've ever seen on TV in my life. In his eyes, Lindsay did no wrong. And I don't know if he just always wanted to protect her, or if he really was just such an understanding, empathetic person to where he was like, it's okay, like, I can go to anger management. And it's like, you're not the angry one here. Lindsay is. She's crazy. She's crazy, Carl. Like, you're good. I don't know. Maybe I just have like a soft spot for Carl because he's just done so much work. And now here comes Lindsay, and she's just like messing everything up for him. I don't know what it is, but I really have such a soft spot for Carl. I really love Carl. He's so understanding. He's so kind. He's so, he's someone that really doesn't get mad. He's king of communication, for real. Like, he can communicate about anything. He's king of that. He's just matured so much, and that's been really awesome to see the progression of that documented on TV. That's been really cool. He's just so great, and I'm so happy that they're not together anymore, because he just needs someone that is understanding and supportive of him. And I think that's another thing that I really don't like, is how unsupportive Lindsay has been of Carl. What the show made it seem like is that Carl was having some doubts of Loverboy, and Lindsay was the one that was like, quit your job at Loverboy. So here he is now, quit, and he's like a whole new Carl, right? Because he's engaged, he's sober, and he's unemployed. So he's never been this version of himself before. And here Lindsay is shooting down every single idea that he has about what he wants to do. He wants to open a sober sports bar. Fantastic. He wants to start a podcast. Fantastic. He wants to maybe go back to Loverboy with their non-alcoholic stuff. Fantastic. Every single thing that he brings to the table, Lindsay's like, no, no, no. And it's like, okay, Lindsay, you're also just being an influencer too now. You know what I mean? Like, I also can't stand when reality TV people will explain what an influencer is. Like, we don't all know. And they always say, I'm a content creator, so, I take, when Sai, see, that's how much I didn't really like Roni, the new Roni. Sai, when she was explaining what content creation is, it's like, girl, we know. And you don't have to make it sound like this, crazy thing. We know what it is. We know what it is. So when Lindsay was like, oh, yeah, I'm kind of doing what Paige does, content creation, it's like, you only have content creation because of Summer House. Are there any Lindsay fans? Stand up, make yourself known if you are, because I need to know. I've just never met one, so I need to know. So for Lindsay to have, I don't want to say she doesn't have a job, because clearly they all make money from Summer House, which is also something that I never understood why people don't ever address that. No one's ever the only person that's ever talked about making money from being on Real Housewives or Summer House or Bravo Show is Erica Jane. And it's only because Andy brought it up. No one ever acknowledges that they make money from this except Andy. It's so random. But yeah, we can all acknowledge that Carl does make money from Summer House. Lindsay makes money from Summer House. But Lindsay would only be able to be an influencer because of Summer House. And she consistently has bad edits on Summer House. So who actually likes Lindsay? Who's actually being influenced by Lindsay? And I saw that she opened a hub house in Nashville. It's a Lindsay themed Airbnb in Nashville. Okay. And all the comments were who is going to rent this out? You don't have a fan base. And I was like, facts. Okay, I don't mean for this whole podcast to be hating on Lindsay, because that's really not the point of this. I just don't think whatever, it doesn't matter. What I'm getting at is that I wish she was more supportive of Carl, because I think it's really hard for guys to not know what they want to do, because they also feel a pressure. I know we as women talk about feeling pressure. Guys also feel a pressure to provide and to work and, whatever. And he is getting engaged and you're unemployed, or he's getting married, he's unemployed. You don't want to really be in that scenario when you're getting married. So it's just to be constantly shot down by your partner for every single idea you have, that must feel really deflating for Carl and really defeating for Carl. And for that, I really, really feel for him. And I also think Lindsay really needs to step up and be a better partner in so many ways. But truly, I just can't wait for them to end things and for Carl to be king. And yeah, Lindsay she needs to be with Austin. Let's be real. She only wants Austin. And she said that right before she got together with Carl. She's like, it's either Carl or it's Austin. And then in Winter House, everyone was saying that on the night of Kyle and Amanda's wedding, Lindsay made moves on Austin. And then she was like, I didn't do that, da-da-da. And Austin was like, Okay, that just like clarifies that she did, because otherwise she'd be like, yeah, I did, like whatever, no big deal. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that I just can't wait for, like, Lindsay just needs to either be with someone messy like her, and I think that's Austin, or she just needs to like be single, or I don't know. She's just a lot. Okay, I'm gonna move on from Lindsay and Carl. I love them. I love Carl. I love the show. A lot of people are talking about Kyle and Amanda. I truly don't think that they're going to get a divorce. I think they are endgame. Yes, I think Amanda does get frustrated with Kyle, but I also give them kudos because they are a marriage where both parties are shown on camera. We have seen them from the beginning, from like friends with benefits, hooking up, to now they're married, whatever. We've seen every stage of them, and we really don't get that a lot where we have a married couple on TV as two main characters of a show. So I give them credit because that must be an insane thing to put online. Like, I know how protective I am of my relationship and of my boyfriend, and I can't even imagine like putting it in front of cameras. So I give them a lot of props and a lot of credit. And I just think what they go through are growing pains that a lot of marriages go through, but it's just not shown and it's just not talked about. And as soon as it is talked about, everyone always says, oh, they should break up. Oh, they should get divorced, da, da, da. But it's like, have you ever been to a wedding or even just hear any married people? They always say marriage is hard, but that's because like you grow and you have to grow and evolve with your partner. Otherwise, you could end up getting a divorce or you could grow apart from one another. Like, marriages take work, and everyone says that all the time. And this is what they mean. Like, they just take work. So when we see them growing, sometimes they grow together, sometimes they grow separately. They're just in different like phases of their life right now, and that's okay. Like, we have to remember, like, these people in a relationship are still individual people. They're just choosing to like do life together. So it's okay if Amanda wants one thing and Kyle wants another. Kyle is still open to what Amanda wants, and Amanda is still loving of Kyle for who he is. Like, he's this crazy, loud, extrovert guy, and Amanda married him knowing that, and she still loves him through it. But yeah, she gets frustrated with him and that he does that. She's allowed to get frustrated, and Kyle gets frustrated at Amanda for whatever the reasons are, and he's allowed to get frustrated. Like, they are a real married couple that we see on reality TV, which is something that we very rarely see. And I think we're just seeing like what their marriage looks like, and everyone's marriage is different. And you can't compare one marriage to another because they're all different. And we also don't see this much of someone's marriage. So I don't think they're going to get a divorce. I really don't. I do think that they are endgame because who else could put up with Kyle? Not me. I think Amanda is incredible. I've always really loved Amanda. She's always just seemed like a girl's girl. Like, she will team up with the girls against her own husband, which I've always found very hilarious and so real and so relatable. And I'm like, frick yeah. I've always just really liked Amanda. And I've also always really liked Kyle. Like, he's definitely messed up for sure, but like, he seems like a really nice guy overall. Like, a lot of the people in the house go to Kyle. A lot of people in the house like Kyle. He always just wants everyone to get along and be friends with one another and be nice. Even with Carl just being so like rude of like, you'll be my flower boy, he just took it with such grace. And like, yeah, he's disappointed, but he's allowed to be. Like, I would be hurt too. All this to say, I don't think they're going to get a divorce. A lot of people say that like, oh, they're failing. I really hope I'm right and that they don't get a divorce. I will be sad if they do, but I also just think it's very rare to see this much of someone's marriage. So okay, moving on. Obsessed doesn't even begin to cover how I feel about Sierra and West. Okay, I have to say this. I have been a Sierra stan since the second she came on the show. She is without a doubt the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my entire life. Every single time Sierra's on my TV screen, I'm just taken aback by her beauty. She is so stunning. She is so gorgeous. She really is just like the most beautiful woman of all time. So every single time someone would come on the show and it was a guy and they like didn't show interest in Sierra, I'm like, is everyone blind? Like, honestly, what is going on? And every single time I see Sierra on TikTok, and I hear her talk, like she really has such a Southern accent, and we don't hear it much on Summer House. And that makes me think it's because we don't see a lot of Sierra on Summer House. Yeah, she's always there, but they only just put like snippets of Sierra in. Sierra deserves like so much more airtime because she, I think, really is one of the people that is such a staple on the show, but we just don't see enough of her. And she hasn't had a lot of character development. So I always wonder, like, well, why hasn't she gotten in a relationship on the show? Like, she's so beautiful. She seems so fun. She seems like such a catch. She's always like funny. You know what I mean? Like, she'll dress up in wacky costumes. She always goes all out. She just seems like such a fun girl to be around. So why don't we see more of her on the show? So when West came in and West took an interest in Sierra, I was like, thank you. Finally, a normal guy, okay, that likes Sierra. Like, she's just perfect. So as soon as they got together, I was just so about it because number one, Sierra deserves love. I'm just obsessed. And number two, I think West is really funny. And it's also proven that like Sierra likes funny kind of guys. So I really like this pairing together. I think West is really awesome. I didn't love the comments where he was like, I can't wait forever. It's like, shut up. Like, yeah, you can. Like, literally shut up. I hated that when he said that. I was like, don't make me not like you, West, because I really do like you. So I didn't like those comments, but I really do like the two of them together. I'm just obsessed. I don't really feel like talking about Jesse Solomon because he just kind of gives nothing to the show right now. He's cool. He fits in. Danielle, same thing. She's cool. She fits in. I don't really have strong opinions of Danielle. I'm glad she's like out of Lindsay's shadow though. And I'm glad she's also not like grafting, which is so Love Island of me to say, to be back in Lindsay's good graces, because Lindsay, I've never seen someone be such a horrible friend to someone, meaning Lindsay to Danielle. As soon as Lindsay called Danielle sweetheart last summer or last season, my jaw was on the ground. I was like, oh my God, like, what a horrible person. Like, I literally was just like, that would have done it for me. So I don't really have strong opinions of Danielle. She's there. She's cool. She's fine. I loved Rob. I wish they didn't get, I was going to say divorced. I wish they didn't break up. I think Rob was pretty cool, but I don't really know much about them. Paige, like I said, I've always really loved Paige, and I love that she doesn't put an emphasis on like timelines, things like that, societal pressures, all that sort of stuff. So I really do like Paige. Kind of already talked about that. Okay. Shall we talk about Vanderpump Rules a little bit? I don't have too much to say about Vanderpump Rules aside from what I said a few weeks ago, because the show literally hasn't progressed. We're just in this weird standstill of Ariana being really, really mad at Tom, and Tom just being such a loser. Like, he is such a loser. It's really just so sad to see this life that he's created for himself where it's just so losery. But I don't have sympathy for him because he got himself in that situation. And he still, to this day, has not owned up and been like, I messed up. I'm really sorry, period. He always says, I know I messed up, but shut up. There's no buts needed. You just say, I know I really messed up. I want to get back in good graces with these people. And also, if he would stop going on these press tours, what I mean by that, his edit in Vanderpump Rules is actually kind of good for him. Meaning, he really is, I think, for the cameras, trying to put on this like good guy perception. And it's also so funny watching other shows because I relate it back to Scandival, because I remember I was in Boise, Idaho when it happened. So it was in March of 2023. And when I'm watching like Summer House or something like that, or Winter House, I will relate it pre-Scandival or post-Scandival, because I feel like all of Bravo changed once Scandival happened. So a lot of Lindsay and Carl stuff right now is post-Scandival, which we know because she's been bringing up Tom and Ariana like every single episode. Like, she just wants to be the next Ariana, and it's like, that's just not gonna happen, Lindsay, because it's just not, like, you're just not her. And also, who genuinely, who wants their partner of 10 years to cheat on them with their best friends? Like, that is crazy. That's crazy. Like, that pain and that hurt and that betrayal must be, I never want to imagine what that must feel like. So, like, the fact that she wants that attention that you get from it is really messed up to me. But anyway, So yeah, there's post-Scandival and pre-Scandival. I think Tom now is trying his best really to get a good edit for the cameras, and how he's acting on camera is how he wants to be portrayed. And if I was just watching the show, I would, probably have a little bit of, hate to say it, sympathy for him, where it's like, I understand you blew up your life and you are trying to get it back together. So like, let's see what we can do. That doesn't mean it's forgiven, doesn't mean what he did was okay, but it just means like, it can't be this horrible forever. So let's keep it moving. What gets me, what I always come back to, is that he did Nick Viall's podcast once Vanderpump Rules of the season started premiering, and he was just absolutely dreadful on it. He was arguing with Nick. He was talking all about the affair still, how he wasn't taking accountability for anything. And I'm like, that's the Sandoval that we all know and that we all hate. And that's the real you. So like, you really tried to give yourself a good edit on Vanderpump Rules. And I'll give you credit because you were doing it for a little bit. And then you go on Nick Viall's podcast and you completely blow it all up and you completely put all your cards out on the table. And we know exactly who you are once again. So like, he just is not my favorite person. I've never really liked him. He actually reminds me of someone in my life that I know. And I also think that's a big reason that I don't like him. And this person in my life, they're not a friend. It's like a friend of a friend. So they're not like one of my friends, but they're around. And I am not the biggest fan of that person. So he reminds me of that person. And it's just like, yeah, like I think we all know a Tom Sandoval in our lives. You know what I mean? So yeah, he just like showed his hands. So I just wish Ariana was softer. I understand that she's angry, but I just want the best for her. And I wish she just wasn't so angry because it's not a good look for her. But then it reminds me of Mad Woman from Taylor Swift, which we have the new album coming out on Friday, thank goodness. And it's like and the lyrics are, she should be mad, she should be skeeving like me, but no one likes a mad woman. And I hate to be that person, but like, that's how I'm feeling. It's like, she should be mad. She should be skeeving. Like, she should be as angry as she is. I just wish she was killing him with honey and not vinegar. You know what I mean? That's what I wish for Ariana, because I think she would come across more likable. But at the same time, like, she's allowed to be fucking angry. Like, do you see what he did to her? Like, she's allowed to be angry. So that's kind of where I'm at. What else in the show? It's just boring, if I'm being honest. Like, the show needed to end. Sheena, okay, the other night I fell asleep with the TV on the other night, and I can't remember if this was a dream or if this actually was said. It was last episode, how Katie and Tom are both pursuing Tori. So weird to hear your name on TV, though. Like, can we talk about that for a second? My name isn't normally said on TV. Like, Victoria is, which is my full name. But Tori is not said frequently on TV. And whenever it is, it always catches me off guard. And I'm always like, oh my God, it's so weird to hear Lala say my name. It's so weird to hear Sheena say my name. It's so weird to hear Brock say my name. Like, it's just weird to hear these people say my name. And in my head, I'm like, okay, so like if they were talking to me, like that's what they would sound like saying my name. Does anyone else think like that? It's just weird. So whenever I hear them say like, oh, Tori, like Tom's like, yeah, I have a date with Tori, or Katie's like, oh yeah, I hooked up with Tori. It's like, oh my God, they're talking about me. It's just like so weird. Anyway. Where was I going with that? With Tori? Oh, so there's like a Vanderpump Rules post show. I never watch it, but the other night I fell asleep watching The Valley, and then that show just came on right afterwards, the Vanderpump Rules after show. And I can't remember if this was said or if I was dreaming this, but Sheena said, I dated a girl before, and Brock didn't like it, so that's why I stopped dating a girl. And then Andy, I think, was like, when was this? And Sheena was like, it was right when Brock and I started dating. I was also dating another girl. Brock didn't like it, so I stopped dating a girl. Now, I could totally be starting a rumor right now, because this could have been a dream. Or it could have happened. I don't know what the answer is. All that I do know is that I think I heard that, again, could have been in a dream state, could have not been in a dream state, but I think that's what I heard. And in my dream state, I was like, of course Sheena is making Katie and Schwartz kissing and dating the same girl being about her, because it's so Sheena. I've never been a big Sheena fan, but whatever. I mean, I don't have like as strong of like she's so dreadful like Lindsay, but she's just never been my favorite character on these shows. However, her saying that, I was just like, that's so Sheena to make it about her. But let me know, does anyone watch the post show, and did that actually happen? I mean, I guess I could just go back and watch it. I really don't want to, but I could go back and watch it, and then I can determine if that was real or not, because I don't know. Okay, let me just move on here, because I do have something to do in a little bit, and I'm just chit-chatting my little voice away. Vanderpump Rules. Anything else I want to talk about with Vanderpump Rules? I don't think so. It's kind of just boring this season, if I'm being honest. Yeah, nothing else really. Okay. Ooh, the New York Times games. Okay, so if you guys are on TikTok, do you guys see that guy that does the New York Times? He does the mini, the Wordle, and the spelling bee panagram in 2 minutes or less, or he tries to do it in 2 minutes or less. I love him. I love his voice. I love his energy. I just want to give him a hug. I want to go to coffee with him. I just love him as a person from his TikToks. He just seems like the sweetest soul ever. But anyway, I love watching those videos on TikTok. One of my best friends, Katie Brennan, who I talk about a lot on this podcast, I brought her up earlier. She is obsessed with the New York Times. She can do She has never missed a day of Wordle. She's never missed a day of the crossword. She will do the mini. Like, I think her record is 5 seconds. Like, or maybe it's 4. She's crazy. Like, she can do this crazy. So I was texting her and I was like, you should like really film your TikToks, or you should really film when you do your crosswords, and you should put it up. And she was like, yeah, I've been seeing this guy that does, the mini, the Wordle, and the panagram in 2 minutes or less. And she goes, I would sweep the floor. And I was like, you totally would. So she started recording it, and she sent it to me the next day. She can do all 3. Like, the one that she sent me, she did it in like a minute, 5 seconds. Like, she is so fast with it. It's so insane. And then when I try to do it, it takes me like 30 minutes. Like, literally, to do the mini, I'm really bad at the crossword. I'm really bad at the mini crossword. It's just horrendous. I really like the names, or the game Strands. That one's new. I like that. I like Letterboxd. I really like Connections. That's fun. I like Wordle. New York Times just has a good thing going, They have a good thing with their games. So I really want Katie to do that, though, on TikTok, because she's really good at it. Okay, moving on. Where are we all shopping this summer? I really need to know what we're wearing this summer, but more importantly, I want someone to style me this summer. So if you are listening to this and you style, please reach out to me, because I really want a style this summer, and I just want to know where to shop and what to buy. The thing with me, and that I've come to realize, is I don't like wearing shorts, because I don't really like my legs out that much. I prefer long flowy pants, or just something that covers my legs. I don't mind dresses, but as long as they hit on my thigh at like a reasonable length to where they like make my legs look good. I don't know. I just don't really like wearing shorts. So that kind of makes my summer attire a little bit harder, but also in Summer House, they do wear pants a lot. Like, I love Amanda's style, but Amanda, like, does she not bloat? Like, I don't know. I bloat. So, like, I wouldn't be able to wear what Amanda wears. But they have really cute style. Like, they always wear pants and stuff, and I really do like that. I also just think, like, I dress for the weather. So when it's so hot out, like, I'm not wearing jeans. They always wear jeans. I'm not going to do that. I have linen pants, but, like, how many times can I wear linen pants? So what are we wearing this summer? Can someone style me? Because I need help. Okay, I need help. I feel like I've really hit a lot of what I wanted to talk about today. Books. My mom just finished her 100th book of the year. Okay. She read 100 books in 99 days. Yes, you can do the math. That's an average of 1 book a day. Okay. She's amazing. And I just finished my first book of the year. I think it's because my mom has found an escape in reading. And I really find my escape in reality TV, as I just talked about for the last 45 minutes. So for me, I just feel like we're on 2 different paths of escaping, and that's fine for me. But that's just where I'm at with that. Let's see. That's really all that I wanted to talk that much about today. Just like life is a little bit crazy. I just get a little bit of anxiety. I'm glad I got that out of the way. I feel a lot better. I feel like I kind of went to therapy, and I feel like I just talked about that, and I feel a lot better talking to you guys about that. Also, this is something. So I haven't drank alcohol since August of 2022. And there have been a few instances where I really want to have like a glass of wine. And the only reason that I don't drink alcohol is because I've always admired people. There's a bunch of reasons why. I'll give you the quick rundown. I've always really admired people that don't drink alcohol, and I would always love to say I don't drink alcohol. Number two, I listened to a Huberman episode about how bad alcohol was for your brain, your mind, and your body. And a big reason that I stopped drinking from that was because of what it does to your anxiety levels and to your stress levels. So I really wanted to lower my anxiety. So I stopped drinking for 30 days. 30 days turned into 60 days. 60 days turned into 90. 90 turned into 6 months. 6 months into a year. And now here we are, like 20 months later, I still haven't drank alcohol. So that feels really nice. But I'm kind of at a point where like I just want like a margarita or an Aperol Spritz or a glass of wine, but I also don't want to I don't want to start drinking again. So I don't know what to do. And I know the answer is like get non-alcoholic Aperol and, that, and I'm probably going to do that. I think I will, because I want to try that, because what I really want is a margarita and an Aperol Spritz. And a fake margarita, like a mocktail margarita, is really hard to make. They're good, don't get me wrong, but like I kind of just am like, I'm drinking fruit juice. Like, what's the point of this? So I'm going to try like a non-alcoholic Aperol Spritz. But I don't know. I'm just being honest. Like, it's not like I went sober because I had a problem with alcohol. It was just something that I wanted to give up and that I wanted to try. And now I've just been doing it so long that it's just like my way of life, and it feels unnatural to add alcohol back in. But there have been moments where I'm like, I would just love an Aperol Spritz. I would just love a margarita. I would just love a glass of Sauvignon Blanc. And I don't know. I've just been thinking about that a lot. So I think I'll just leave it there. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching on YouTube and catching up with me and just being on a FaceTime call with me. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy Manifest Monday, and I'll talk to you guys all next week. Bye, guys.
One of the most humbling things that I see on social media is like, if you remember this, then it's time for a night cream. And recently I saw one the other day that got me. It was like, if you remember those infomercials where it was like watercolors and you just have one tool, and if you could draw like a rainbow on it, it's time for a night cream. And I was like, oh, that one hit me really, really hard. And that's where I bring Clarence into my night routine. And it's I'm 26. Like, it's time for me to have a night cream. I had to get my own health insurance the other day. It's time for me to be a human and a real adult. We've been adulting for a while, so we understand the daily stress of swiping left or binging the 4th season of Gossip Girl until 2 a.m. We just know that like trying to get our life together can cause stress aging, which unfortunately is a thing. But the good news is that Europe's #1 skincare line has a solution for you that you can trust. Rooted in nature and innovative with science, Clarins has a long legacy of creating industry first, plant-forward products. Using a skin charger complex of 2% niacinamide and sea holly bio extract, Clarins multi-active cream has been clinically proven to target the first visible signs of aging by smoothing lines and wrinkles, refining pores, evening tone and texture, and strengthening the skin's moisture barrier. While multi-active cream can't bring back the golden age of boy bands, it can de-stress our skin. I've been using the multi-active cream for a little bit over a week now, and I can already feel such a difference in my skin. What it does for my skin, it just feels really supple, really moisturized. I wake up with really, really glowing, soft skin. I love it. I feel like my pores look a lot smaller. It refines my skin's textures. I feel like overall I just have an enhanced radiance. It gives me 24-hour hydration. I just really love this product. Clarins Multi-Active Cream is available online now. So go to clarins.com/manifest and get Multi-Active Day and Night Cream for 10% off, a free welcome gift, plus free shipping on your first order. This is a really good deal, you guys. That's Clarins, clarins.com/manifest with promo code manifest. clarins.com/manifest with promo code manifest.
Okay, so let's talk about hydration. This week, I think I've taken maybe one sip of regular water all day, all week. Like it has not been really good. But as soon as I get home from the studios of running around, making sure everything is set up, the number one thing that I do is I pour myself a big glass of water. I'm talking like 24 ounces, and I will pour in a liquid IV. And this way I get completely hydrated. I can quench my thirst really, really fast. I get electrolytes. It pretty much just is like making up for the lack of water that I've had all day. I really, really like Liquid IV. My current favorite flavor is their white peach. I just love anything peach, especially with it going into summertime. And I don't really know how to explain it, but like Liquid IV tastes wetter than water. You kind of just have to taste it to know what I mean, but it's the most hydrating water I've ever had. I really like that it's convenient because I can just fill up a water bottle or like a mason jar at home, put it in my water. It's just in like a little daily, pack. You just pour it in and it's absolutely delicious and it makes my water taste a lot better. So I really do drink it like all day and then I feel really good for not drinking water. So all that you need is one stick and at least 16 ounces of water, and that will hydrate you better alone than just water. It also has 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drink. I really like the zero sugar one, so it has no artificial sweeteners and zero sugar. It has 8 vitamins and nutrients for everyday wellness, and it's non-GMO. It's free from gluten, dairy, and soy. So, however you hydrate, grab your Liquid IV hydration multiplier sugar free in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 20% off your first order when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MANIFEST at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MANIFEST at liquidiv.com.